everyone, welcome to another episode of Insa Podcast. Here on Insa Podcast, we strive to inspire everyone to choose the food that brings the good, as well as to dive into the nutrition and dietetic community to know more about it. So I'm Huey Shin, the host for this episode today, and we are embarking on a flavorful journey as we explore the diverse cultural food in Malaysia. So I'm so excited today because I'm joined by my classmates and we are all final year students to share about. They will be joining us to share about their cultural perspective on Malay and Indian cuisine, and me myself will represent Chinese perspective. Okay, would you all like to say hi to the audience?
Hello, I'm Faustina.
Hi, I'm Azrina.
Hi guys, I'm Nadira.
Okay, so before we immerse ourselves in the Malaysian melting pot, here a quick disclaimer. So our recommendations are meant for general public without pre-existing health condition. So if you have any health complication, do seek professional advice from qualified healthcare professional, and specifically for dietary advice from dietitians. Nevertheless, the content has been reviewed from our lecturer, ensuring that it aligns with promoting healthy lifestyles and maintain credibility. Okay, so now let's get started. In our first segment, we will explore the unique flavors that each cultural groups contribute to the Malaysian melting pot. So Nadira, what's your favorite Malay food?
So for me, some of my favorite Malay foods is soto and also nasi kerabu with ayam percik. During Raya, I also like to eat rendang with lemang. So the reason why I like nasi kerabu is because I find it a very visually appealing dish because the rice is blue in color. So like what makes the rice blue is that they use like a flower, it's called butterfly pea flower, or in Malay it's called bunga telang. So the dish will comprise of a variety of herbs and also fresh vegetables, condiments, and a protein of your choice. So you can choose fish or chicken.
Okay, this sounds delicious. It's fascinating seeing how certain dishes become intertwined with our culture celebration. I mentioned about the lemang and also in Hari Raya. But would you mind explain more what is soto, just in case like some of our audience not very familiar with it?
Yeah, sure. So soto ayam is it originated in Indonesia. So it's an Indonesian style chicken soup. So it's composed of a broth and also other components like shredded chicken, vermicelli noodles, and vegetables like bean sprouts. So the broth is actually infused with a lot of aromatic herbs and spices. So that's what gives it a very rich and flavorful taste. So if you notice soto ayam, it's like yellow in color. So they actually use turmeric. So that's what gives it its rich yellow color actually.
Okay, thanks for the explanation. Azrina, how about yours?
Okay, for me it's quite similar to Nadira as well. I love soto ayam, but I also like laksa. It's like mostly Penang or Utara style lah. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned Nadira style and Penang. Is it like any different in the variation?
Actually, it's quite different lah. Like if the Utara style is like commonly known as like the laksa that we are more familiar with. So it's like a rich fish broth base, and it's like a very good balance of spicy, sour, and also like savory elements. When you compare it to other variations that use like coconut milk instead, yeah. Other than that, the noodles they use are also different. So Utara style, they use like a rice noodles that is slightly more thicker, while in Johor you can find them using spaghetti noodles. And also like in Sarawak style, they will usually use like the rice vermicelli, yeah.
So from the Malay cuisine, the dish that you mentioned, the rendang, soto, laksa, they all share a very common ingredient that contributes to the unique flavor in Malaysian dishes. Faustina, can you guess what's the ingredient?
I think will definitely be santan, which is coconut.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the coconut milk, the santan, the magic ingredient that enhances the richness of like all these Malaysian cuisine. So as the name suggests, it is a type of milk made from coconut flesh, which contain a high amount of saturated fat. So according to the nutrition guideline published by Ministry of Health, the upper limit for the saturated fat intake is 73 grams per day. So usually, a normal packet of 200 ml of coconut milk has approximately 44 grams of saturated fat. So let's say you prepare like your dish in lunch and dinner, you're using each pack of coconut milk. And it's likely that the saturated fat can exceed the recommendation while taking into consideration of other saturated fat sources like the red meat, animal skins, butter, and the pastry like the baked goods, all that. So, well, we can't control how the food store prepare their dishes when we eat out. Like Malaysia also eat out a lot, but we can make healthy choices.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Huey Shin. When we eat outside, we can request for no extra gravy, and we can avoid drowning our meals with curry or gravy.
Banje.
So I think this can really help to control the fat as well as the sodium content in our meals.
Yeah, I agree with Faustina. So other than that, you can also try to request for no extra gravy. Yeah, so you can use alternatives also, like you can replace part of the coconut milk that you used to cook with low-fat milk, or a light version of a coconut milk, but basically you can just use the original santan and just dilute it. You don't
just
have to spend your
water,
money and buy the light version of coconut milk. Yeah, so by doing this, you can try to reduce the overall energy and fat content of your food.
But actually, so for Chinese, santan is not that common in our usual cooking. But if we dilute in this way, will it affect the taste?
I guess it will kind of affect the taste a little bit because you're replacing the original ingredients, right? But I think the key is finding the right balance. So it's about maintaining the essence of the dish while also eating by being mindful of your health.
Yeah, I think I would say moderation is the key. So it's essential to be mindful of the ingredients and also the cooking methods that we use to prepare our meals.
Yeah, so that brings us to our first takeaway, moderation. So I think now we can provide our audience with some healthier alternative for the dishes that we have discussed. Nadira consider love of soto and nasi kerabu, which are delightful but it can be quite rich. So are there any healthier option or modification that you can suggest people to do?
Yeah, so I would recommend that for soto, if you can try to add more vegetables like bean sprouts or shredded cabbage to the dish. And if you're eating out, I would advise you to not finish the soup because it can be quite high in sodium and fat as well. For the nasi kerabu, I would say it's already considered quite a healthy alternative. However, based on my personal experience, the portion can be quite big. So if you find that the portion is big, maybe you can try and share it between your friends and family. So share it between 2 people instead. And for the choice of protein, instead of the fried or goreng fish or chicken, you can try for a grill option instead.
Okay, good suggestion. Azrina, how about laksa?
I would say most of the recommendation for healthier modification is quite similar to what Nadira has mentioned. So just load up on the vegetables. So for laksa, it will be the lettuce, the cucumber, the onions, and also switching to whole grain noodles version for that added nutritional value. Yeah, so for protein, maybe go for a leaner cut or more on seafood so that you can reduce the amount of fat you're consuming, and also you reduce the amount of coconut milk in the broth. Yeah, so you'll still get that flavor that you love, but it's lighter and a healthier twist.
Okay, so for our listeners, now you have all these fantastic ideas on how to enjoy the Malay cuisine in a healthy way. But all these small twists actually can make a huge impact on our overall health. Since we mentioned about cooking method, so let's talk about home cooked Malay dish. What do you all usually have for lunch and breakfast? What you cook at home?
Okay, so basically Malays, we eat like any other Malaysian. Okay, so you always have the rice, the meat dish, and also a vegetable dish. So when it comes to the meat, often Malay will use cooking style methods like masak kurma, masak kicap, masak lemak, sambal, and we would fry the meat to give it an aromatic taste and texture before combining with the flavorful gravies. Yeah, so it's quite a common practice lah that you see in our cuisine.
Actually, Chinese also, we adopt a quite similar approach lah. Like we like to coat the meat with the flour, then we deep fry it. After that, we mix it with the sauce. And one of the very common one we have is the sweet and sour chicken lah. And you always can see the mixed rice.
Yeah, mixed rice.
The orange color one. And then but I'm curious about the condiment because Chinese we like very salty and sweet. But what about Malay condiments or sauces typically like you guys use?
I think it's quite similar also. A lot of the sauces that we use contribute to like the sweet and the salty flavors. So for example, like the kicap masin, kicap manis, and also oyster sauce that we use. In rural areas, they will use more saltier condiments to pair with their dishes. So for example, like budu, so fermented anchovies, salted fish, salted eggs, tempoyak, which is like salted durian, and cincaluk, which is fermented shrimp. Yeah, it's being used more frequently. So another common like condiment that we always use is like belacan. Yeah, so it's always used in like the sambal, and also when we cook, we can also put it in certain soup dishes like laksa, and also use it in stir fry in vegetables such as kangkong.
Actually, belacan all is like a fusion thing lah. We all Chinese, Indian use that also in our household cooking. But it's interesting like you share about how a different variety of condiment used among Malay in urban or rural area. Speaking of which, Chinese cuisine, similar to Malay also, we have like the staples foods on every meal. Like we have one bowl of rice, the one we have rice, then the meat dish, either fish or chicken, and the vegetable will be the stir-fried one, and sometimes with another protein-based dish, either tofu or egg lah, Chinese. And usually we use cooking method more to like a steam one, but even with steam after that you put a lot of soy sauce.
So it's salty.
Yeah, it's salty. Okay, so we like oyster sauce and soy sauce. Yeah, you know the brand is obviously in Chinese name one, the oyster sauce.
Yeah, when you go,
the Chinese thing lah. And occasionally we will have one more soup dish made by stewing the animal bones with the vegetable like radish, the white carrot.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to hear how like each of our cultures, it's quite similar across different cultures, the way we cook food at home. But then also, one of the things I'm hearing is the use of condiments among even our home cooked food, that's budu, belacan, or oyster sauce, whatever. So controlling the amount of sauces and condiments that we use in our cooking is crucial, because the daily allowance for sodium is around 1 teaspoon, so it equates to 2,000 milligrams of sodium. So I think visualizing this with a teaspoon helps us gauge how much is our sodium intake, and it helps us to control accordingly.
Yes. Instead, I think you bring up an excellent point. So when we talk about daily sodium allowance, it's important to consider the sodium from other food sources. Apart from the salty condiment, obviously it's very salty one, but the hidden sodium in processed food, especially like you know the bread, the cream crackers, and also the snacks chips that we eat.
Potato chips like that,
In our daily life, they also can contribute like a huge amount of sodium intake, and that's what we call hidden sodium food.
Yeah, so there are also other condiments. For example, like the soy sauce, thin soy sauce. So I think it's good for the audience to know some condiment references for equivalent sodium content. So for example, 500 milligrams of sodium can be equal to 1 tablespoon of thick soy sauce, 1/4 tablespoon of thin soy sauce, 1/4 cup of dried anchovies, or otherwise known as ikan bilis, 1/3 cube of chicken broth cube, 1/3 pack of instant noodle seasoning, half tablespoon of oyster sauce, half teaspoon of cincaluk, half piece or 25 grams of shrimp paste, aka bok chan, and 1/4 tablespoon of fish sauce, or otherwise known as budu.
The food that the salty condiments that Nadira mentioned just now is like 1/4 of the recommendation. So you imagine like 1/4 is just like 1/3 pack of instant noodle seasoning. So yeah, you have that list, then it's very helpful when we prepare home cooked dishes. So at least you get to gauge the sodium amount. So the list of sodium-rich food that Nadira mentioned just now will be available on our Instagram post, specifically on the post for this episode.
Yeah. So now that we've already like discussed about the condiments and sauces uses in Chinese style cooking and also Malay cooking, so now I'm curious about like Indian cuisine. Like I know they use a lot of like herbs and spices, but can you tell us more? What are some of the common sauces and condiments used in like Indian cooking?
So yeah, Azrina, you're right in saying that we do use a lot of herbs and spices in our cooking, like turmeric, chili powder, garam masala, coriander powder, and so on. And we use this mostly to prepare our curries, which we use a lot in our like daily basis. That's what we eat every day. So and then we also like to use these spices for things like chutneys or additional gravies, and also pickles. So common examples of chutney that we like to prepare and also consume is like tamarind chutney, mint chutney, and also various types of pickles, like we have garlic pickles, pineapple pickles, and so on. So when you eat all of this with your main meal, with the rice and so on, it really adds layers to your eating experience.
Okay, it's amazing. Like it's very fascinating seeing how each culture it brings its own set of the flavor to the table. But I'm particularly intrigued by the vibrance and flavorful banana leaf rice. But I'm not sure what are those ingredients inside for a typical plate of banana leaf rice.
Yeah, so banana leaf rice is a southern Indian dish, and it really is a feast for the senses. My favorite thing about banana leaf rice is that it's a testament to the complexity and also the delicacy of Indian cuisine. So banana leaf rice, it comes with set meals, and it's prepared in such a way where we try to incorporate different types of taste sensations. So for example, we would have one dish that is sweet, sour, spicy, umami, bitter, and also many other tastes. So our main carbohydrate source is the parboiled rice, and then it's accompanied by usually 3 different varieties of vegetables cooked in different ways. And then we have the curries and also the meat-based side dish. So often some examples are like chicken vadagal, or black pepper chicken, or fried fish. Occasionally we also have mutton, it was like a really grand occasion. And it's also served alongside papadum and pickles. So at the end of the meal, we usually try to have modu, which is a yogurt drink, and also rasam to ease with digestion.
Okay, it's a complete version of mixed rice. But it has like all the important macronutrients profile, like the cereal grains, the meat, the veggie, which can fulfill our daily nutrients need. But there's a concept of gravy. And so cooking methods like deep frying, which can contribute to high amount of salt and fat. So again, do not banzai your food with the gravy.
Yeah, I think when indulging in banana leaf rice meals, it's good to be mindful of the portion, especially of the rice, and also try to balance the types of dishes on your plate. So try to include a variety of vegetables, and the good thing about this meal is that it's not entirely absent of vegetables. So when you go out to the restaurant, you can ask for additional servings. And then when you consume meat-based dishes, it's best to consume it in moderation, as they do tend to be cooked with more fat. So additionally, go easy on a curry sauce, as we discussed earlier. Don't bunch it, just lightly.
Yeah, I think adding to that also, we can incorporate like the suku-suku separuh, like the healthy Malaysian plate. Yeah, it helps to visualize like the appropriate portion suitable for like one meal. So I mean, yeah, so like the one plate, a quarter of it should be from the carbohydrate sources, so like the bread, the like noodles, and also the rice, and then the other quarter should be on protein sources, so like our fish, our chicken, or like things like legumes also. And the other half should be for like vegetables and also fruits.
Yeah.
Actually, we have that. Suku.
Yeah, I was like,
We'll show you guys.
I was like, yes. So for the audience who are curious, so this is the suku-suku separuh, or the healthy plate lah. So like I've mentioned, like quarter is like from the protein source, quarter from the carbohydrate source, and half of it is fruit and vegetables. Yeah.
I think you can explain more like what's the carbohydrate source like.
Yeah. Yeah, so for carbohydrate sources, it will be like rice, bread, noodles, and also the protein, it will be like legumes, and also like fish, chicken, egg, tempeh, tofu, and then half of it is fruit and vegetable lah. Yeah, so this is the healthy plate.
And then cereal brands like the kentang, the potato, the
Yeah, the
yams.
starchy vegetables
starchy
are also considered as carbohydrate sources. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can also offer.
Leave here.
Oh, yeah, we can also. Yeah, I think I would like to also offer some tips for the audience. Also, when you dine out, so if you find that the portion is big, you can try to share it with your friends or family, and then can you try to order smaller portions initially, and then if you still feel hungry, you can reorder some more. Yeah, don't order so much food at one time, because most likely you'll get full really quickly and then you'll just waste your food. You don't finish it, right? So other than that, if you do have excess food, and you can try to take it away. And also I would advise you to not add any extra salty condiments, because usually the foods prepared by the restaurants are already high in sodium. Yeah.
This time I heard of Azrina you mentioned about parboiled rice in banana leaf rice. The banana leaf rice set. Would you like to tell us more what's the difference between the parboiled rice and also the regular white rice?
So the primary difference between parboiled and regular white rice is its processing method. So for parboiled rice, it undergoes a process where it is soaked, steamed, and then dried before milling. So this process, it helps retain much of its nutrients, especially the dietary fiber, which is found in the bran layer. And parboiled rice is actually quite common among many Malaysian Indian households. And it's even more common compared to basmati or even regular white rice.
So basically the parboiled rice, it retains more nutrients compared to the usual white rice, where the nutritious outer layer is removed during milling. But why is that important?
Yeah, so the outer layer, the bran layer, is where all the dietary fiber is contained, and this is actually good for dietary fiber is good for our digestion and overall gut health. So as we all know, dietary fiber helps to add bulk to our stool and helps to ease the passing of the stool through the digestive system. I think this is another reason why parboiled rice is very favoured among the Malaysian Indian community, is because due to its high fiber content, it gives us a feeling of satiety and fullness, so it prevents us from overeating.
Okay, so like incorporating parboiled rice, you choose the right grain, you choose the whole grain, and incorporate in the diet can be a simple yet impactful way to boost your fiber intake and promote digestive well-being.
Yeah, and let's not forget also like other healthy grains that are available also, like quinoa, brown rice, and barley. So they all come with their unique nutritional value as well.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is that for quinoa, it's a complete protein source and also contains all the essential 9 amino acids. So brown rice is also rich in vitamins and minerals, and also barley is known for its high fiber content. Yeah, but when we bring it to a Malaysian context, I think the more common high fiber alternative that we see Malaysians buying would be the brown rice, and also like Faustina mentioned, the parboiled rice. Yeah, I've also noticed whole grain noodles also is available in the market, so maybe you guys can also try that as a high fiber alternative and add it to your local noodle based dishes like your mee hoon soup.
I think to add on from the quinoa that Nadira mentioned, the essential nutrients, the essential amino acid is the protein amino acid that why it called essential is because we can't make inside our body, we need to consume it from food sources. It's like quinoa is like one of the really good food that contains all these essential amino acid. Yeah, so you can just like add one tablespoon or 2 tablespoons in your porridge or anything there, so you can have that nutrients. Okay, so explore all these healthy grains. It's not only to diversify your diet, but also provide your body with the essential nutrients. And also, I think Indian flatbread like chapati, thosai, those are Korean food as well, right? Okay, so like, do you have any favorite Indian flatbread you want to share?
I do. So for flatbread, my favorite would be rava dosa. So rava dosa it's made out of semolina. That's what rava is in Tamil. And also a mix of spices like curry leaves and black pepper, which just help to add more aromatic and flavorful twist to the dish. I think dosa is very favorite dish for Malaysian Indians and also just like Malaysians in general. It's one of our go-to for breakfast and also even for dinner. I think one of the things I like about dosa is the fact that there's so many different varieties. It's a very versatile dish. So when you go outside, you can find things like egg dosa, onion dosa, ghee dosa, masala dosa.
So many.
Like, even when you go to a mama shop, there's a list like dosa.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what to order. So
I want to try new one, but then we feel like it's very weird lah. It's not something familiar.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that it kind of matches with anything. It's very versatile. So another thing about dosa is you can't eat it alone. You have to pair it with chutney or curry. So usually the common one that we serve dosa with is sambar. It's made of dal.
And then yellow color one, the one more like diluted one, right?
Or is
it's
it-
supposed to be thick
It's
actually.
Yeah.
thicker than dal, is it?
Is it
no.
the carrot a bit of the sayur one?
So so sambar and also chutney. So different varieties. For example, the not spicy white coconut chutney. And the spicy variety, we have mint chutney, or we call it pudina.
Yeah.
And so all of this combined makes dosa a very unique dish.
And I didn't know there's so many varieties. And for the sauce, chutney, the curries, and also the toasted. But we'll try for like other variation of chapati lah, other than toasted. But what about Indian staple foods like roti canai and naan? Because you didn't mention that.
So roti canai is actually, it has more of a like Indian Muslim influence. So it's not entirely Southern Indian cuisine. Besides that, we also have breads like idli and naan. So idli is made in the same way as dosa in the sense that it comes from ulundu dal, so white dal. And because of that, both of those dishes also tend to have a little bit more protein because it's all the protein is coming from the legumes of the white dal. Whereas naan is a bit different because it has its origins from North India, whereas idli and dosa is South India. So naan is a flat bread and it's made by placing it in a hot oven and allowing it to bake in that hot oven. So just like dosa, there are different varieties to this naan. So we have like garlic, butter, cheese naan, and so on. And also paired with tandoori chicken sometimes.
Tandoori chicken is Indian thing. It's not Malay.
From my understanding.
I think it's more of a Indian thing. I would
think
say
so,
I see it more in Indian
They use
cuisine.
yogurt, right?
Yogurt. It's more like Indian,
Yeah, tandoori chicken is more Northern Indian.
Tandoori,
Southern Indian dishes like chicken tikka masala.
Okay. So the flatbread that you mentioned, a lot of variety, roti canai, naan, and the healthy one, chapati. Which will be the healthier one that you will recommend?
It's like a bit hard to say because like the important thing is to have the mindset of eating in moderation instead of like ranking their healthfulness and like completely avoiding less healthy options. So I think these flatbreads, they all come from unique places passed down from our ancestors. So for a healthier choice, I recommend maybe chapati and dosa because chapati is made from wholemeal flour, so it has higher fiber, and also dosa comes from which is higher in protein and also fiber. Alternatively, naan and idli, the good thing about them is that they are made from low-fat cooking methods like steaming and baking, so they're also good choices to explore.
Okay. Then what about the curries and also the gravies that eat along with this flatbread?
So like I mentioned just now, the different varieties of curry and chutneys. For chutney, on terms of like its nutrition, traditionally it's made from shredded coconut, we blend it with the chutney, but then because of its high fat content, you can opt for modern ways of making chutney that comes without the coconut. So like tomato chutney grinded with just onion and garlic and so on. So for curry, the most common one that we like to pair our flatbreads mixed with sambar, so like I mentioned, the dal-based gravy, and also fish and chicken curry. But then it really comes down to which curry works well with which bread. So like for chapati, it's best paired with dal-based gravies, whereas not so well with curry. Whereas for dosa, it's paired with both curries and also chutneys. So
I think like this sounds like very delightful accompaniments, but like what you mentioned, some they are made from coconut, the shredded coconut one, and some is like the curry version. Actually, which are more healthy or it's like almost the same because it's generally very high in salt.
yeah.
So,
For chutney, like I said, try to go for like the ones that's made without shredded coconut. But then for curry, I think sambar is healthier because like it's lower in fat compared to chicken and fish or other meat curry, and also has more nutrients coming from those legumes. So then the general principle here is always once again portion control, and then don't go overload on the gravies.
okay. How about in Malay cuisine? Any like particular flatbread or bread-like item?
For Malay cuisine, we have something called lempeng. So it's like a pancake made out of like sugar, flour, and sometimes egg. It's quite actually a simple dish, but it's still flavorful because it's accompanied by like sauces like sambal and also curry dishes.
So the meat itself got sugar inside already.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Chinese household we will sometimes we cook that also, but in Chinese we just use flour mixed with water. Then sometimes we put a bit of shredded cabbage or carrot inside lah. But particularly for Chinese cuisine, we have the clam bun, which is called mantou. It can be enjoyed on its own or prepared with celery, which has a gravy lah. But a reminder here, all these refined flour product, they are very high in generally it's a refined flour. The flour already undergo a process that remove the bran and germ. So along with the essential nutrients and dietary fiber, which can lead to higher glycemic index, causing a quicker spike in the blood glucose. And then over time, all these diet very rich in refined flour may contribute to issues like insulin, slowly developing into chronic diseases like diabetes, and also overconsumption of it definitely will lead to weight gain. And so just to make the pancake a bit healthier, just add in vegetable. Just cut and add in vegetable. Make
Add
it
more
not
fiber.
so refined. Make something very defined. Go back to your traditional way. And okay, so fiber, then you know all the healthy things come with the fiber, promoting better digestion and overall better nutrient value lah.
But you can also try and get creative, and you can try to substitute some of the ingredients. Like you can add fruits like bananas and raisins, or even instead of flour, you can try using oats to make the pancake to increase the fiber content, right? So for the dipping sauces like the sambal and curry, like Azrina mentioned, you can still indulge in them, but just be mindful of the portion. Just consume it in moderation.
Yes, food can always be fun with a lot of combination, like banana pancake and then sayur pancake and then
Sayur pancake.
Okay, so now let's dive into the next segment, kueh. Our Malaysian journey wouldn't be complete without exploring the kueh and snacks. So kueh in Malaysia, what's your favorite?
There's so many options I cannot pick.
Okay.
But I like onde-onde, cake lapis, and also any type of cukodok. Those are like my favorite because I grew up eating those a lot during my childhood. And then for cukodok, I know a lot of people like the banana flavor, but personally I like cempedak. So cempedak is like a type of fruit like very similar to jackfruit, but it's like a lot more sweeter and a lot more softer. So the cukodok I like eating is the cempedak one, where they will take actually the seed or like the biji of the fruit, and then they boil it until it's like really soft, and then they will like fry it into the cukodok after like like putting it in the batter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll fry it. So like if you guys have the chance to try it, I will really recommend it lah. Yeah. So other than that, yeah, cake lapis is like my favorite of all time, just because it's like so beautiful and like so full of like different flavors as well. Yeah.
I think the kueh lapis is every Malaysian childhood favorite lah. And when we were young, we always play with my layer.
Yeah, layer by
Yeah. Even now, actually, I also still like to eat it layer by layer.
We don't get scolded already, but when we were young,
Yeah.
our parents always thought like we play with
the food,
and we don't
yeah.
eat, but it's just fun to
Yeah.
Okay, so how about yours, Nadira? Your favorite
Okay,
one?
yeah, like Azrina said, there's a lot of very nice kueh. So I enjoy quite a variety. So like kueh lapis, kueh koci, sri muka, pulut tekan, kueh kaya, kueh cara, manis or berlauk, apam balik, lepak pisang, pisang goreng, encik godok, like Azrina.
Yeah.
So basically, as you can see, anything banana related I like, because actually banana is my favorite fruit. Yeah. So I will always go for like the banana stuff. Yeah. Fun fact about pulut tekan, like just now I mentioned, it's actually also made from the butterfly pea flower, like the similar one they used to make the blue color for the nasi kerabu. Yeah. So I guess you can see I have an affinity for blue colored things. See, today I'm wearing blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have a memory attached to these foods, but I guess I just enjoy eating them because I have a sweet tooth, like many of us Malaysians, right? We have a sweet tooth. But of course, I enjoy this kueh in moderation. Yeah, I don't eat it all the time.
Pulut tekan is like the glutinous rice.
Yeah, it's glutinous rice. It's like, if you see, it's like a rectangular shape. Yeah, and then there's like, it's white and blue. So there's like, it's not totally blue, but there's like blue colors in there. And then they in the packet they always put some kaya, because that's the pairing.
Yeah, kaya.
Pulut tekan and kaya. Yeah, if you guys are not sure what it is, you can just Google pulut
Yeah,
tekan
just
and you
Google
can see
it.
the image, and then I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So for the audience information, chocolate already mentioned by both of them.
Yeah.
But simply you don't know what is chocolate. So chocolate is a type of kueh made with mixing the fruits. But actually I tried banana chocolate, not chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that common.
Yeah, it's not that common. Yeah.
Need to go like maybe rural area.
Yeah, maybe rural area you'll find it more. Yeah.
The roadside one.
Yeah.
So it's like the fruit that mixed with flour, sugar, and then deep fry it. So the fried piece of kueh is very aromatic, crispy on the outer layer and soft inside.
Yeah.
So then with all the tropical fruit flavors, banana, chocolate.
Yeah.
How about Indian? Faustina? Indian or Indian?
Indian one. Okay, so for me, apart from what we all like, which is
Yeah.
so like vada and curry puff. So I think we've all heard of vada, it's quite common.
Yeah.
It's a savory Indian snack. You find it a lot in the roadside, maybe in Indian restaurants. So this vada, it's mixed with the dal, also ginger, onion, and some more flavor. And there are also actually different varieties to this vada. So the common type of vada that we eat is called ulundu vada, which is more fluffy and is shaped of a ring, so it's like a hole in the center. Whereas another type of vada that we eat is paruppu vada, which is shaped more like a circular disc, and its ingredient is a bit different. It contains both ulundu and also paruppu, which is like the yellow color dye. So what about yours, Rishi?
The one is like tastes different. The one for me, there's a hole in the middle one and the flat.
Yeah, that one is like more. I've eaten it before lah. That one is like more fluffy. But like the other one, the disc shaped one, is like more dense because it has more of the dal.
Because when you bite the disc shaped one, you can actually feel like you're crunching on the dal.
Yeah.
Whereas for the ulundu one is more fluffy, you feel like you're munching on bread.
Fluffy.
Okay. So for mine, I'll share about it from Chinese. I love the Malay one that you all mentioned, the pisang kueh, kueh koci, ondeh. These are so good, but particularly for Chinese cuisine, I like savory one, like the steamed yam kueh. So the steamed, I think you saw it in our banana store also, right? The yam.
Oh yeah.
They usually serve it with like the shallot oil and sometimes chili, like. And also the what we call ambu kueh. It's the red color one inside with green bean paste filling. And also one more is like the dim sum one. It's called salted egg yolk lava bun, and yeah, so one of the dim sum dishes lah.
Wow. I think all the like Malaysian favorites are still super flavorful regardless of any cuisine. Yeah, like all these kueh and all these snacks that we have mentioned, like in our own culture, have a story from our ancestors. Yeah, so like we're really grateful that we can still taste them like until today.
But what I can conclude, like the kueh generally like everyone loves very sweet, very sweet.
Yeah.
Then Chinese one salty. Actually some of the Malay also very salty.
Salty, yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's a
sometimes.
savory, yeah.
With kueh also. So and also the aromatic taste from deep frying. It's so common everywhere in Malaysia where we can get whenever we want, and it's very affordable. So yeah, but here comes with a problem now. Due to the accessibility, we tend to overeat.
Yeah.
And these like small pieces, but we don't actually realize the small pieces can contain very high fat, high sugar,
Yeah.
and high salt. So yeah, all these is like overconsumption, lead to weight gain, and consequently again the chronic diseases.
Yeah, so I think that's why it brings us back to our main concept, which is like portion control, so that we don't. Yeah, so one of the tips is like don't overbuy so that you won't overeat. Yeah, kueh and snacks are usually coming in like small portions already, so just go with the small portion and like share it with your friends and family. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Azrina. Be mindful when you're purchasing all these kueh and snacks. So we're definitely not advocating you to avoid these foods entirely, because food not only provides us with energy and nutrition, but for a lot of us, it provides us with enjoyment, right? We enjoy eating all these foods.
Yeah.
Memories.
Childhood memories, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, you can indulge in them once in a while. So it's about finding the balance between enjoyment and also enjoyment and also practicing mindful eating.
Mindful
I would
eating.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can avoid any unnecessary health problems in the future.
Yeah, I agree with Nadira, because as much as we love indulging in all these foods, it's important to strike that balance between pleasure, tradition, and also health. And in this podcast, we really want to emphasize the message of indulging in and practicing healthy eating habits and also lifestyle habits from a young age. Please do not assume that because we're very young, in our 20s and 30s, health should not be a priority. Just because we don't technically face health issues, but all these lifestyle independence that we experience now will eventually accumulate to something in the future. So avoid indulging in those unhealthy behaviors now so that we prevent chronic diseases in the future.
But I wonder is there any solution to make kueh actually healthier? Because the outside one we buy is really it's so nice that
Yeah.
it's too good to be healthy. So yeah, is there any way that you guys can suggest?
Yeah, so there are some tips that I can provide to try and make this kueh a bit healthy. So if you can opt for kueh that is made with less sugar and also less fat. So like kueh apam or the bean paste bao. So these are our healthier alternatives. Instead of indulging in like pisang goreng or all the fried sort of food like chokodok, maybe you can consider eating the actual fruit instead. So the actual raw pisang for the same nutrition value, but with like less fat. Yeah. And yeah, like Huey Shin said, sometimes most of the time we always buy this kueh from outside, so it's a bit hard to control the sugar and fat content. But what we can do is be mindful of the portion lah. Don't buy just buy maybe 1 or 2 pieces. Don't overbuy like what Azrina has mentioned just now. And if our audience would like to try making this kueh at home, maybe they can try substituting some of the ingredients. So for example, you can try to replace at least a quarter or half of the usual ingredients. You can try and substitute like condensed milk for evaporated milk, white flour for the whole wheat flour, butter for plant oils like canola or sunflower oil. Instead of sugar, you can try and use artificial sweeteners like stevia. And also most of the kueh they use santan, so maybe you can try to use low fat milk instead. Yeah, so these are some adjustments that you can make to try and make it a healthier alternative.
Okay. Faustina, about Indian kueh, do you suggest like any healthy Indian kueh or any alternative option?
So when it comes to Indian kueh, you can look for options that incorporate more nutritious ingredients of fruits and nuts and seeds. And when eating outside or buying these snacks from outside, it's a bit challenging to get healthy options because they don't want to sell their foods. They do tend to add more sugar and salt and so on. But when making the kueh and biscuits at home, it's good because you can control the amount of sugar that you add in. So I would say you can use less sugar.
It was on me also just now.
So sorry.
So when making the kueh and biscuits at home, you can control how much sugar you use. Like, from the original recipe. Additionally, you can go for kueh and biscuits that are steamed or baked, right? So that there are more healthier choices rather than deep fried options like rempah and so on. Alternatively, some healthier snacks that you can explore are like cooked chickpeas, and then just add some spices for some seasoning, and that can be a savory snack option.
Yeah. Sometimes you can also switch like from the kueh to like healthy snacks like Faustina have mentioned like unsalted seeds and nuts, fruits and yogurts, or bread with peanut butter jam. So you can still enjoy like the richness of the flavor, but will still be mindful about your health. Yeah.
So wrapping up the kueh segment is all about portion control and making healthier choices. So enjoy this delightful treat in moderation and ensure that we savor the flavor without compromising our health. So if you ever find yourself tempted to overindulge, remember that balance can go a long way. And moving on to our last segment, eating has always been a major part in Malaysia, especially during festive seasons or celebration. And in Malaysia, with its diverse culture and cities, we come together to celebrate various festivals together.
Yeah.
And we enjoy the food, even like in Chinese I enjoy Raya food also.
Yeah.
We enjoy muruku also, even if people about it, I'm not the one that
You're not celebrating it, but you
but
also
still
enjoy the
enjoying
food.
it. Yeah.
it's all the biscuit, like not Chinese.
Yeah.
When the biscuit already there, like Malays will buy also.
Yeah.
So in Chinese culture, different festivals have specific food that symbolizing the occasion. So for example, during the Mid-Autumn Festival, we have mooncake and the pomelo.
Pomelo, the fruit.
The fruit. And Winter Solstice Festival, we have a glutinous rice ball. And in the Dragon Boat Festival, we have sticky rice dumpling. The one is like with meat one. How about Malay?
So Malays, our like main celebration is Hari Raya Aidilfitri. So during this festival, you'll find a lot of traditional Malay foods. So for example, like lemang, rendang, ketupat, lontong, and also satay. So basically, every type of Malay cuisine you can think of is available during this festival lah. Yeah. So yeah, and then that's why I think this festival like symbolizes a lot on like connecting and social bonding with friends, relatives, and also like the whole community lah.
Yeah, we Malaysians like to bond over food.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can also find a lot of the variations of like the food. Yeah, so like because we visit a lot of like our friends and family. Yeah, they're the hosts of the like open houses lah. Yeah, so you can actually like understand the they're like heavily influenced by their own state. So like I guess a little story time is that like the first time I tried like Johor style laksa is when I visited my dad's friend's like open house during Raya. Yeah, so though my dad's friend's wife is actually Johorian, so she prepared a lot of like the Malay cuisine, but it's like the variation is like the Johor version. Yeah, like the authentic one. Yeah, so I was able to like try all this like very new lah. So it's very interesting to see like the different variation that is available. Yeah, so through Raya you'll be able to experience and also taste like different variation than you would normally would. So other than that also you're able to have like the kueh raya. It's very iconic kueh raya. It's like a must have. So for example like biskut suji, biskut makmur, kueh bangkit, kueh kapet, and kueh ros are like commonly served to our guests also.
Those like biscuit cookies all are very delicious. I will always also buy them during Raya. That is memang you cannot miss it. You must always buy it.
And now even not Raya time, actually all the kueh, I think kueh makmur, all that is available.
Actually nowadays it is also available. But you see a lot more of them during the like nearing Raya like that lah.
Very roast are only appear during Raya.
Yeah,
But what makes like Hari Raya special is that the host will usually sometimes make it their own. Yeah, so it's a very homemade feeling lah when you eat it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know we all love to eat all these cookies, but we also need to be mindful because these snacks are also high in calories. High because of their sugar and fat content. But yeah, I mean, during festive season you can indulge, once in a while. It's not all the time.
Yes.
Hari Raya only happens like once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, speaking about Hari Raya, we all do know that Muslims observe a period of fasting prior to festivity of Hari Raya.
Yeah.
So does the diet during Ramadan differ from the usual one?
The diet during Ramadan actually isn't very different compared to what we eat usually. But it's just the difference is just that the meal timing changes. Yeah. So actually, it's good that you brought that up, Faustina, because Ramadan is actually also coming soon.
Around the corner.
Yeah. So, but I would say about Ramadan, a lot of people tend to overeat and also overbuy a lot of food. Okay, so like they overeat because they think that they can indulge after a day of fasting. So, and then they overbuy, so it will also lead to a lot of food wastage. Yeah. Because they buy the food in a very large quantity, and actually when you're fasting, actually you get actually full very
quite
fast.
easily,
You think you feel very hungry, but actually when you eat like normal, you feel full already.
It's quite common like that.
So it's just like a psychological thing. You can eat a lot, but actually your stomach actually, I think your stomach sort of shrinks. Your stomach shrinks when you're fasting, so actually you get full quite fast. Sometimes when I break my fast, I just eat like 2 pieces of the dates and drink water. I feel full already actually. So a tip for Ramadan, don't overeat and don't overbuy. You can your eating habits can be just the same like during the non-Ramadan months.
How about during the open houses like kenduri? But they always prepare like food, like so many food to serve the guests. This lead to like overeating or
I guess very much so lah. Because during open houses, like the main dishes are served in like big portion, and also there's like a lot of variety. So because of that, like people easily like overeat because they see a lot of variation and they like want to try it lah. And it's also prepared by the host also, so like it's out of courtesy like to try all the variation.
The kenduri is like the main food at outside. After you finish the main food, you go in the living room, all the tables.
And all the biscuit kuih.
You start to like cheating, like conversation with others. Then you start to
Just take everything.
So, any tips that you all can share during this season to avoid overeating?
My tip will be going back to the main concept, which is like portion control. Like instead of loading up your plate with like everything, try to take like smaller portions of like the variety to try out. Another thing is like pacing yourself also, like allow yourself to like savor each of the bite, and also allow your body to signal like I'm satisfied. So another thing is like engaging in conversation, so that can slower down your eating pace.
Those are great suggestions, Azrina. So adding to that, maybe you can also try to start your meal with the vegetable dishes. So follow the suku-suku separa concept that Azrina explained just now. So that way you can consume the more nutritious options before you go for the more calorie dense dishes. And also staying hydrated is important because our body tends to mistaken thirst for hunger, which leads us to overeat. So everybody make sure you drink enough water.
That's like actually a really good tip. Like we go to multiple kenduri in a day, so some of the things that we can do is like sharing the dishes with our family and friends lah. And also you can still enjoy that without overloading yourself with like large portions. And then like I know some mixed foods like satay and laksa is usually served like in a buffet style, so you can customize it to be like healthier and also control the portion size. And also like I know some people have the urge of wanting to have second servings just to be polite, you know, because the host prepare everything for you, right? They make to welcome you, but it's okay to like it's like acceptable to say no, if you're satisfied. That's like my tip for that lah.
Excellent tips, everyone. So, remember, these strategies can help us navigate through the festivity with enjoyment while maintaining a balance for our well-being. What about Indians? Any variation in eating habits during this season?
Yeah, so for Indians, our two main festivities are Deepavali, which is usually towards the end of the year, and also for Tamil specifically, it's Pongal, which was actually just recently celebrated. So what differentiates the meals that we eat during festivities and non-festive days? It's the amount of food itself, and also the variety of food itself. So for example, for breakfast on Deepavali, common foods that are served are like pasta and idli paired with meat-based curries. And whereas for lunch and dinner, it's usually like mixed rice dishes. So we have biryani or tomato rice with all our meat-based dishes and also vegetables. So biscuits and snacks, just like Hari Raya, is also served. And some of the common options, especially for Diwali, the must-have is muruku. And then we also have other varieties such as kacang biscuit, kueh semperi, nae goreng, which is like ghee balls we call it, and so on, and also jam tarts. For Pongal, which is actually a harvest festival, because we want to honor harvest and agriculture, we tend to vegetarian on that day. And so the main dish that we have for Pongal is the Pongal rice, which is essentially rice cooked with milk and also jaggery, which is like sugar originating from India.
You mentioned that when was it happen? You said just
on Monday,
last week is it?
Same day in every year, or you
observe different depending on like the
calendar.
But it's not Diwali is like the end of the year, then Pongal is like the start of the January. So the vegetable, like the vegetable dish, vegetarian, is it a vegetarian day?
Yes, because on Pongal day we try vegetarians. So like we have rice with vegetables and also like
protein,
And for Chinese, especially during New Year, we tend to eat more expensive ingredients like abalone, scallops, lobster, shark fin, which are not very common that we consume in our daily diet. But also some may choose to eat out at the very premium Chinese restaurant during this celebration, where the bills can run into like thousands, like hundreds of thousands Chinese. Because the premium ingredients is expensive. The amount itself is like 1K or 50 million. So you can imagine that. And apart from that, Chinese dishes, particularly during celebration, often include fatty meat, like the pork belly, the roasted one. It's like a must for every Chinese household. And additionally, there's an increased tendency for alcohol consumption.
It's really nice hearing how important of a role food plays in all our different cultures. I think like Nadira said, we Malaysians love to bond over food. And food holds very special place in all our festivities. And what's also interesting is I hear some similarities between all our different cultures. Like it's not only Indian culture has this, but it's like cross between many cultures, which is testament to the fact that we do live in a very multiracial society. And while these celebrations are occasional, it's important to be mindful and practice mindful eating during this festivity so that we avoid this mindset of once in a while indulgence and how we eat a lot. So I think this approach helps to break the cycle of excessive weight gain and also overeating and promotes overall health.
So like, all these festivities, they occur once every year. So do allow yourself to, enjoy all the festive special foods like what we all have mentioned, all the snacks and all the kueh in a healthy, non-restrictive and non-judgmental manner. So because food, it serves not only it serves a purpose for providing us better health, but it also brings us a sense of enjoyment and cultural identity.
So developing a balanced, healthy relationship with all these festival food, focusing on moderation and maintaining awareness of portion control can contribute to health and happiness. So here's the end of our podcast. So there you have it, a delightful conversation about the rich tapestry of Malaysian cuisine, and we hope you enjoy this journey into the heart of our cultural foods. And a big shout out to my wonderful classmate that you're super busy. We are rushing back from Seremban for this podcast. I hate you, BJ. Okay, so Nadira, Azrina, and Faustina, thanks for coming and sharing all your cultural perspective.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here. And before we bid goodbye to everybody, a friendly reminder: food is not just about sustenance; it's also a celebration of life.
Yeah, so remember the key takeaways of our discussion, which is moderation, portion control, and also mindful choices.
And whether you're savoring thosai, laksa, rendang, or kueh, let the joy of eating always be a balance between pleasure and health.
Okay, so that's all for today. Before signing off, do check us out on our Instagram. Details are attached down below. And once again, thank you for tuning in. This is Inside Podcast. Inspire everyone to choose the food that brings you good. Okay, bye.